All right, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can see, in the shop again, and I got myself into some trouble here today. See that thing behind me? That's a Mazda 3 subframe, for God's sakes. Jesus. If you guys have been to this channel, or if you guys have been subbed to me for a little while, you know that I have a Mazda 3 beater. It was like a daily driver slash winter beater, an 04 orange Mazda 3, and it's no longer in the fleet right here, but it's at my mechanic shop right now. It was getting looked over for inspection, and would you look at that, we need a whole new basically rear subframe for the car, which is what we have here. And I just got this today, 350 bucks out of a 04 Mazda 3, the same thing. And this one's actually in decent shape. So what I'm gonna do is clean this up. I'm gonna wire brush the whole thing, well, as much of it as I can, and I'm gonna hit it with some rust converter, which is over here, this stuff, and then I'm gonna rocker guard it, likely, just to coat it and keep it healthy as long as possible, so that I can give this car to my girlfriend and she can drive it for the winter instead of driving her Volkswagen. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm probably just gonna time lapse this whole thing because this isn't very interesting, but I kind of want to see what the time lapse looks like in the end of it just being like completely covered like this and then being somewhat clean in the end. Okay, you guys probably can't hear me very well because I got my mask on still and I'm too lazy to take it off. But this side's pretty well done. I cleaned it up pretty good, I think. With the wire brush. And now we're going to go to this side like I showed you. Pretty nasty, and I'll show you here how rusty this actually is. So yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, it's not horrible. As you can hear, you can still tell that the frame is definitely still solid with me hitting it with the hammer. So, but yeah, I'm getting all this surface rust off. This side probably took me about 45 minutes, so I'm probably another 45 to an hour on this side. And then I'll blast it with air likely, with my compressor over there, and get all the dust off before I start spraying any paint. And then yeah, I'm not sure if I'll get to rust proofing it tonight, or I guess rust converting it. Not sure if I'll get to that tonight or not, but I'm hoping to get this all cleaned up and ready for paint at least for tomorrow. All right. God damn. Holy frig, I feel like I've been doing this forever. I think I'm pretty well done. I gotta do the hub on this side, clean up the threads. And just a little bit more tidying up on that. But everything else, all the main frame is pretty well done. Nice and clean. I still have to, it's quite the stutter there. I still have to blow it with some compressed air, get all the dust off and whatnot, but not bad. Not too bad for a 15-year-old subframe. So yeah, I'm gonna probably put it over there by the door and then blow it with some compressed air here and clean it up just a little bit more. I don't think I'm really gonna wipe it down with anything. I do not want to wipe this whole thing down with rubbing alcohol. I'm just gonna spray it with the rust proof stuff or the rust converter, because it says right on it that you can just spray it right onto rust, and most of the loose stuff is gone, so it should be fine just to spray on. And then probably let that dry overnight and come back and do the rocker guard. So yeah, we'll get into that. All right, so before I blast this with air, just want to show you all the rust that came off this thing. I mean, there's a lot of dirt in there too, but it's crazy how much rust can form on a car. So I'm gonna go dump that out in the garbage. Subframe over here, ready to be hit with some air, and then I'll start masking stuff off probably tonight, and maybe hit it with some of the rust converter. But yeah, we'll keep trucking, boys. Alright, so I'm gonna start spraying it with this. Probably won't finish it tonight because it's almost 11, but I'm gonna start just with the bottom there, get a good coat on. And it says to put this stuff on pretty thick. Like, it's not like normal paint, obviously, because it's not paint, first of all, but shake well before using, apply generously, allow to dry. For heavy rust, repeat application. So, probably just gonna give this a nice, good 2 coats, really. 2 heavy coats. All right, here is the final product. Well, not final, but this is a 1.5 cans of the rust check stuff for the rust converter, whatever, showed you earlier. And as you can see, it's soaking wet, and I covered this thing pretty friggin' good, I'd say. And you can really start to see all the scaliness from like the rust coming through. Whenever it's wet, it really shows up well. So we'll let this dry overnight, and tomorrow I'm gonna go to the store and see what the best thing is to paint this with. If I can't find anything, I will just be doing rocker guard, which I'm sure would do the trick. Alright, so it's the next day after the clip you just saw, and got the subframe here, and she's pretty well dried. Well, she's dry, it's been sitting all day. And this rust-proof stuff is pretty cool. It makes the surface like tacky so that your paint sticks really well to it. Yeah, this is what it's looking like. Got my little heater there, trying to heat up at least some of it. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. So we're gonna paint this with some rust paint. Some of this. And give it a nice coating with that, and that will be it. Let it dry, and that'll be her. Okay, here is the final product. Nice and glossy black. Should do the trick, hopefully, for a couple years. Anyway. This is the worst part, this rail here, this frame rail. Same with the top one here. On the other one, it was all rotten, all inside that. So I tried to cover those two as much as possible. Didn't bother masking anything because I don't care that much about this, but it will be fine. The paint will come off the bolts anyway, if need be. But yeah, this is it in all its glory. And hopefully I'll be able to show you guys it in the car once the car is back. Alright, so here's the old subframe. Look at this. All rotten. This is what I fixed. And then this is what I obviously couldn't fix. Just rotted right out. The frame is poison. The control arms don't look too bad, but yeah, like underneath this is all rotten. So yeah, this is her, and I'll try to show you guys the new one once the car's right there. Just getting it back now from inspection.